The question before the House today is how to respond to one of the most abhorrent uses of chemical weapons in a century, slaughtering innocent men, women and children in Syria. It is not about taking sides in the Syrian conflict. It is not about invading. It is not about regime change or even working more closely with the opposition. It is about the large-scale use of chemical weapons and our response to a war crime, nothing else.
The weapons inspectors are in the midst of their work and will be reporting in the coming days. That is why today could not have been the day when the House was asked to decide on military action. For this House, it is surely a basic point. Evidence should precede decision, not decision precede evidence.
Listening to this speech, any reasonable human being would assume that the gentleman is looking to divide the House for political advantage. What has happened to the... What has happened? What has happened to the national interest?
I have to say that intervention is not worthy of the honourable gentleman.
The fact the Syrian government has and has used chemical weapons is beyond doubt. The fact that the most recent attack took place is not seriously doubted. The Syrian government has said it took place, and the evidence that the Syrian regime has used these weapons in the early hours of the 21st of August is right in front of our eyes.
If the decision, as some of us believe, has already been made in Washington and agreed by the government here, then that's really why we're here, because Washington feels there should be some bombs falling this weekend.
At this very moment, the Assad regime in Damascus are watching very carefully as to whether they will get away with what they have done. If there is no international response of a significant kind, then we can be absolutely certain that the forces within Damascus will be successful in saying, well, we must continue to use these whenever there is a military rationale for doing so.
The Syrian rebels have got plenty of access to sarin. It's not rocket science, Mr. Speaker. You don't have to be Einstein to have your hands on sarin gas or the means to distribute it. Russia and China say no to war. So do I and most people in this country.
From all the evidence we have, the fact that opposition don't have chemical weapons, the fact the regime do, the fact they've used it, the fact they were attacking the area at the time, and that intelligence I've reported, that is enough to conclude that the regime is responsible and should be held accountable.
It is no more pleasant to be killed by a cruise missile than it is to be killed by gas. You're still dead.